After reviewing almost 200 offers, I figured out a 3-step process to make sure they're the best that they can be, so you get as many people saying yes to you and as little people saying no. So you can obviously make more money with your business building layer. So follow this 3-step process, apply it to your offer today, and inshallah, I can guarantee you'll get more yeses this week than you've ever seen before. And the first thing you need to do is become more specific. Now, what does specificity mean exactly? Well, I want you to imagine your prospect, right, wanting to raise their hand up to what you have to say. Maybe you're going to help them with back pain. Maybe you're going to help them with client acquisition. Maybe you're going to help them with copywriting. Whatever it is that you offer as a service, it does not matter. What you want to do in your offer is not describe how you do anything, but it's to describe it with incredible specificity, being incredibly specific with how you say it and what you use as words to describe 3 things: their pain, their goals, and the time it takes. It's that simple, right? And specifically with their pain, you don't want to just say, we help X do Z, right? You want to be specific on who you help. You don't say, we help business owners. You don't say, we help Muslims. You don't say, we help Muslim entrepreneurs. You don't say anything like that. You say, we help, and then be incredibly specific, right? Like Los Angeles estate agents making around 20K per month, for example, right? We help local brick and mortar businesses who've been in business for more than 15 years and a family ran. Like, you want to be incredibly specific, because when you're specific on the person that they are, they go, whoa, that guy's talking about me. So already you pique their interest a lot more with your offer. And you might be thinking, well, Fedi, if I limit myself and who I target, surely I'm going to make less money because there's less people to talk to. Well, no, because guess what? The more specific you are, the more money you make. It's that simple. Why is that? Because people will know that you solve their specific problem, which is the point of the offer, is to show them that we solve their specific problem. We know what we do. You've already been told by Alex Hormozi to niche down, and I'm here to tell you again, niche down even more. The strongest offers we've seen have been with incredibly niched people. Like they work with very specific kind of people. And so the second thing to be specific is about their goal. Don't get me wrong, their goal is important, but you're not just trying to describe their goal, you describe the pain points of getting to their goal. If you help somebody with lower back pain, for example, right? You're not going to say, we help you fix lower back pain. You say, we help married Muslim men between the ages of 30 and 50 who want to, this is how you describe their goal, who want to run around with their kids, pray painless, right? Not be woken up in the middle of the night because of their lower back pain. We help them achieve that in 90 days. And so by achieving their goal and describing their pain at the same time, again, it helps them understand that you know what you're talking about. And that's the point of an offer. Again, you're trying to show your expertise in the offer, because you're not always going to have the opportunity to make a YouTube video, to make content, to outreach to somebody and describe your process and everything in length. In 1 sentence or two sentences, when you describe your offer, we want people to know that you're the expert. And then obviously give a specific amount of time, because that way people are able to visualize what their life is going to look like after this period of time, right? We think in seasons as well. So somebody, you might say 90 days, they're thinking, oh, damn, right now it's spring. Oh, cool, it's going to be autumn, right? Or summer in that case. Spring, autumn comes, autumn does not come after spring, and that's obviously wrong. But you get my point, right? Like, they're supposed to visualize the time period that it takes. And so be specific on 3 things: who they are, their goals and their problems, and the time. And that way you can get them to raise their hand and go, that's for me. You want them to say that this is exactly for me. He's described me, he's described what I want, he's described what I'm going through, and I can visualize myself achieving that goal. So that's the first thing. The second thing, and this is the most important thing for me, and I've seen that people who have this one thing, they end up making 2 times the amount of money that people who don't. So they sign double the clients with the same amount of effort. And that's just the outcome mountain. You might have never heard of this before, and that's absolutely fine. You see, I want you to imagine your prospect is at the bottom of a mountain and he wants to climb to the very, very top. You see, you going to your prospect and saying, hey, look, man, I'm just going to help you stay exactly where you are. They're going to be like, yeah, go away. I don't ever want to talk to you. I don't ever want to see you again. You might say to your prospect, well, listen, I'm going to help you get to base 1, right? Base 1 is, let's say, a quarter up the mountain. And if you're selling something like client acquisition, this is what it sounds like. And you've probably seen people sell this to you before, right? I'm going to help you get X amount of leads. And you're thinking to yourself, I don't want leads. I want cold, hard cash in the bank. That's what you're thinking. That's the end goal, right? I want leads. No, you don't want leads. Oh, appointments. This is getting you to base 2, halfway up the mountain. Again, you're not there. You're not where you want to be. And so when somebody tries to sell you leads or appointments, you automatically just don't think their offer is that good. You think they do less and they're less good because they're not expert enough to get you to the top of the mountain. And look, this is the key thing. They might be, but with their offer, they're not showing you that they are. And so somebody who is selling leads, for example, what they should be talking about is clients. It's cash. It's actually moving the business forward. And again, if somebody talks about getting you appointments, or if you talk about getting them appointments, it's the same thing. If we go back to a person who does coaching and somebody fixes lower back pain, right? They're not wanting to get rid of the lower back pain necessarily, right? That's base one. What they want is to be able to run around with their kids. What they want is to pray without any pain. What they want is to wake up in the morning and not feel any kind of pain whatsoever. If you say, I'm going to help you get rid of half the back pain, like, yeah, that helps them, but that's not what they're after. So understand that in your offer, you want to understand, right? And I know I said that word a lot, but you want to get them to visualize themselves at the top of the mountain. How do you say that? You describe what the top of the mountain is. Remember, we said they were going to be specific with their goals. When you describe the goal, it needs to be the peak goal, not the halfway goal, not the quarter-way goal, the peak, fully their goal. And so once you do that, there's one more thing you need to do. And this one last thing is probably one of the easiest things you can do straight away that is going to already increase the effectiveness of your offer. And that's a guarantee. But you probably understand the guarantee wrong. Just being honest with you. A lot of the people I see who, when they make their offers, they misunderstand the guarantee and they do it in a very, very wrong way, right? And the best way for you to make a guarantee is to understand it this way. You got your prospect swimming, swim, 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 but they get against this tsunami. And this tsunami is obviously going to kill them. Right? Let's not beat around the bush. They're going to die at the end of this if you don't throw them this safety vest, right? And this safety vest is supposed to stop them from drowning. But that's what most people's guarantees are like, just a safety vest with nothing else. Again, if we go back to the mountain example, imagine if you said to somebody, I'm going to help you get to the top of the mountain, but then your car breaks down, the helicopter breaks, they end up breaking their leg, whatever it would be, and all of a sudden they tumble all the way to the bottom and they fall even further down than when they started. That's the worst case scenario. They don't want that. And that's why most guarantees don't work, is because you're making them visualize things going wrong. And they don't want things to go wrong. They might expect them to. But when you say we're going to offer you a full, complete refund if we don't get you X, Y, Z, now all they can think about is, dude, this guy's just going to take me back to zero. This guy's just going to take me back to swimming against a huge-ass tsunami. And so what we want is to help them visualize the fact that we're not going to let them go back to zero. We're going to get them, if we miss the top, to base 2. Or to base 3, or sorry, to base 1 in this case. And that could sound something along the lines of, look, we're going to offer you a full refund plus, right, a little bonus, plus you get to keep the systems for free, right? You might not offer a refund. You might say, look, I'm going to coach you for 6 months extra to make sure you get to your goals, right? You might say something along the lines of, we're going to help you and we're going to consult your team to help them with X, Y, Z, right? Like whatever you help them with, you're going to either continue doing it, you're going to offer it to them for free to continue helping them, or you're going to make sure that they never end up in the problem in the first place, right? Which is why I almost got like, I always want you to have this idea of like, right, I want to fix a system, and this is a bit advanced, so if this is a little bit advanced for you, that's fine. I want you to understand it because it's going to be helpful later on. If you're going to bring somebody, let's say leads or appointments and then clients, understand there's like a step-by-step process to get them there. Obviously, they're going to start off with a lead. And so what you want to do is have the lead thing sorted out first. Once the lead thing is sorted out, then you work on appointments. Once appointments are sorted out, then you try and turn them into clients, right? Just as an example. And so if you try and skip these two and you go straight to the top, what will happen is that if something goes wrong, they have nothing to fall back on. But at least if they see 100 leads coming in every single month, even if none of them turn into clients, they see that you're helping them move forward, right? And so by always imagining your prospect going up a bunch of stairs or going up a mountain, you understand, right, if I help them on step 1 and I make sure they never fall back to step 0, you have an incredibly powerful guarantee. And those are the 3 ways for you to use, right, these mechanisms in an offer. The first one being specificity and being incredibly specific, the outcome mountain, helping them get to the top of the mountain, and the guarantee to be able to obviously reverse the risk onto you and help them not start from 0, but start from 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5. Then I think, obviously I can't control everything, that just by applying these 3 things, you'll double the amount of clients that you sign if you're already booking meetings. And if you aren't already booking meetings, you want to, all right, get your offer in front of more people, then you can watch this 40-minute video. I walk you through an entire client acquisition system using LinkedIn for you, whether you're a coach, a Muslim consultant, or a Muslim agency owner, you'll find it useful. And of course, if you want a bunch of free resources, you can join my free school community in the description. Inshallah, I'll see you in there. I coach there once a week, so inshallah, I'll speak to you and meet you in person. And I'll speak to you soon. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.